Hello there, beautiful healers, star seeds, awakening wonders. Welcome to this video. Today we're going to talk about Reiki. We're going to talk about what happens after your Reiki Master attunement. So, it's a really interesting subject actually, because again with most of this stuff, it's different for everybody. But I've known a few people that have done their Reiki Master or Reiki Master teacher attunement, and then they're like, so what now? Or they feel a little bit lost. They're not really sure what the process is or what to do or where to take it. So I wanted to do this video to talk about that today. So I'm going to give you some examples of what happened with me after I did my Reiki Master attunement and when I was trained to Reiki Master teacher level. And it was really interesting because obviously I'd gone through my Reiki level 1. Reiki level 1 is where you can do your self-healing. You can give Reiki to friends and family. You can practice on them. And you do your 21-day clearing cycle after each attunement. So each level you go through, you have your 21-day clearing cycle. But then you continue that self-healing every day, if possible, if you can. And then, maybe 4-6 months, maybe a year or years pass before you even consider doing level 2. Again, it's different for everybody. There is no set in stone that you have to do your Reiki 1, then 4 months later you do your Reiki 2. It's totally up to you. My Reiki Master did level 1, didn't even think about doing his level 2 till about 2 or 3 years after, I think, if I remember rightly. So it changes for everybody. And then you go and do your level 2. So then when you become attuned to level 2 or Okuden level, then you can think about starting to run your own business. They call it the practitioner level. So you can start maybe doing your own business within Reiki, or you learn more about distance Reiki and the Reiki symbols. You get attuned to them as well. So, and again, that is different for everybody. For level 1, for me, it really helped to just kind of like go, it really opened my mind, my third eye. My third eye became so open, and I was aware of so much more after my Reiki 1. My clairvoyance had really improved, which I had been working on through meditation with crystals and things like that. But then after my Reiki 1 attunement, my third eye opened quite a lot, and I was aware of my guides, spirit guides that were around me. I was aware of just the sensations and feelings. Now I was seeing a lot more in life within people that were around me as well. So I was more aware and I was more in tune. My empathic ability sort of like went up a notch. I became more tuned in, I suppose, is the term I think a lot of people tend to use. But we're all tuned in to some level anyway. And then did my Reiki level 2, and to begin with everything went kind of like quiet, and then it started like ramping up again after about 6 months. It started ramping up again, and what the other thing that I noticed as well going through each level was ringing in the ears had increased in pitch with each level. So Reiki level 1 it was like a hoo, and then Reiki level 2 it was a hoo, and then Reiki level 3 it was almost indistinguishable. You couldn't really make it out, but it was there. Really high frequency pitch of ringing in the ears. And there's many different ideas and thoughts on what ringing in the ears is, but again, for me, I just think it's a frequency thing. It's a frequency shift. I was also after Reiki level 2 as well, I had a lot of like very vivid dreams. My Reiki, I say my Reiki, it's not my Reiki, it's just what is there, what flows through me. But my awareness improved a lot, so I was a lot more psychic, I suppose you might want to call it that. Just more, again, a lot more in tune, a lot more aware during Reiki sessions and things like that. And then I came to do my Reiki level 3 on my master teacher level, and everything went whoosh. And I was like, oh, where's it all gone? Where's all this wonderful magic stuff gone? Everything went really, really quiet. And it wasn't until probably about 6 months after that again that I realized why it had gone really, really quiet. And basically it's time for you to really, so what I did after that, for me, it was kind of like a process of going all the way back to the beginning again and starting again from level 1. Because even though you get attuned to Master Teacher, a lot of people think maybe, they get to Master Teacher level and then that's it. They know everything. They know everything they need to know about Reiki. They know everything about energy. You don't. You don't know a thing about you get to know. You know a lot. You pick a lot up. But when you get to Reiki Master Teacher level or Reiki Master level, for me personally, it made me feel very humble, and it made me feel as though I was just starting all over again. It made me feel I know nothing. You really do know nothing, and then you get to the point where you think, well, I've got to at some point teach people this. And if I'm at this stage of like really knowing nothing, then, but with the Reiki Master level, you also get your Reiki Master Attunement, which is about your great finding your great bright light, or having that deeper self-awareness, because you're going through a very deep spiritual practice and initiation, and you become really, really self-aware, and I think that's why everything went quiet for me, because I was really taken aback by the quietness. And I think on some level, maybe because I was seeing and feeling all this stuff, on some level I think my ego took over, and I was just like, oh wow, I'm seeing this and I'm giving them these messages, and they know exactly what it means. But it's not about me. It's not about what I'm seeing or feeling. It's about them. It's about their experience, what they're seeing, what they're going through. And I think again, that's why I had to go all the way back to the beginning. Again, after your Reiki Master Attunement, you go through your 21-day clearing cycle as normal. You do your self-healing every day. You keep up your meditation practices. You keep doing your mantras, your Reiki mantras, your symbols, your Reiki symbol mantras, working on them, really deepening your connection with that feeling, that inner feeling of the Reiki. And then I got to a point where I was just like, right, okay, so I wanna like, I'd already built up my Reiki practice. I'd already started doing like distance healings, and my distance healing when I was in level 2, I just did them for free, just to try it out, just to build up like a routine, build up my own practice, build up my own way of doing it. And then when you go to level 3, you want to be a little bit more professional. You want to be able to charge for money, because obviously you've paid a lot of money already for courses to learn about Reiki and how to practice Reiki. So in some terms, you want to start recruiting some of that back. Plus, it's also about your time. Your time is vital to you. So you're not actually paying for the Reiki itself. They're paying for you. They're paying for your services. They're paying for what they're going to get from the session with you. And the other thing that I had to learn as well about that was, you don't need to experience something every single time. You don't need to have to be able to see things or experience things or feel things. In fact, there's much more. There's a lot more healing going on in just the stillness of presence, of nothingness, of just self-awareness. There is so much more going on there than there is by being sucked into like, oh, what's this? Oh, what's that? What am I feeling? What's the sensation? Why am I getting this? Why am I getting that? So that's another level that I had to work with as well. So just to like let all that go and just be in the presence of it, just be in the acceptance of it. Again, acceptance is everything to do with this. So then I was wanting to eventually teach, and then I still don't feel ready to teach yet. And part of the UK Reiki Federation guidelines actually is, after you've done your Reiki Master teacher course, then give it around about a year before you start teaching. And that for me was it was probably just over a year before I actually started doing some courses. But that for me felt about the right time, because I felt as though I needed to know more and I needed to learn more, not just about the Reiki but also about myself. So I think that's something that Reiki 3 did for me. It really helped me to tune deeper into myself and my level of self-awareness, and it gave me more clarity as to who I am, where I'm going, the path that I'm going down, the things that I want to do, the things that I need to do, the things that I'd like to do. And it's a really, really interesting journey. And again, it's different for everybody. But yeah, it was probably about a year and maybe 2 or 3 months, something like that, before I actually did my first Reiki course, which was a Reiki level 1 course. And it took a lot of preparation, a lot of planning. And I was having a chat actually just yesterday via messaging and what have you with a lady that's a student of my Reiki Masters, and she's just been attuned to the Reiki Master teacher level. And she'd said she has all this stuff to do, and she's got everything piled up, and she likes to be an organised person, but everything's just all over the place at the minute. And she's having real difficulty just kind of like just getting everything formulated. And I said to her, I said, don't worry. I said that, that continues. It doesn't get any easier really. You just become more manageable with it. You get to a point where you just let it go. And yeah, again, acceptance, surrender, don't worry about it. And that's why one of the important practices and principles within Reiki is just to let go of worry. The more you're stuck in worry, the more you're worrying about the past, or you're worrying about the future. The more you're in the present and you let go of the worry, things actually become more clear. You get better clarity of mind, and then you're able to actually formulate things much easier. And that for me as well, with each level of being attuned to each level of Reiki, that clarity, that inner wisdom, that connection to my intuition became deeper, became stronger. And yeah, that was really, really important for me as well, because that connection to myself and the connection to my inner voice was more important than anything, because it gave me real clarity and real validation about the path that I'm on and about the healing work. And I think that's why people get a little bit lost and a little bit confused after doing the Reiki courses, especially Reiki Master Teacher, because then it's kind of like the end of the line, and it's down to you now to move on with your journey to spread the Reiki to other people. But again, only do it when it feels right. And I mean, maybe for some people it'll be a shorter time span than others, but for me personally, what I like to teach, I teach people and I say, look, before you even think about teaching, after the Reiki Master Teacher course, I would give it at least a year, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that will start coming up. There'll be a lot of stuff that you'll need to work on internally. There'll be a lot of healing that you need to do. There'll be a lot of just putting things in place and getting your pillars, getting your foundations right. And this is, I think, again, why I went back to Reiki 1, because Reiki 1 is the foundation of everything. The Reiki 1, I think, is probably the most important part of a Reiki journey, because it's your first steps into Reiki. It's your first step into this wonderful path of healing, of understanding what Reiki is, understanding that we've got these principles that help us stay focused and grounded and not be sort of swept away, and we keep ourselves present and in the moment. So that for me, Reiki 1 is such a beautiful, beautiful introduction to the whole thing. And that's why I felt drawn to go back to that again and just focus on self-healing, friends and family. I did a little bit of client work, and again did it for free until I was like building myself up properly. But yeah, it's a really, really interesting journey, and it's very easy to get lost. It's very, very easy to get swept away, because when you've kindly done it and you've finished and you've moved on, and like I said before, it's now your turn to take the reins and take over. It's totally up to you where you want to take that. It's up to you where you want to go with it. Personally, for me, if I was doing it all again, I would do exactly the same. I would go back to my Reiki 1 and just focus and read more about Reiki. Get lots of books about Reiki, because when you become a Reiki master and you want to do your teaching and you want to teach Reiki, you need to have the knowledge, you need to have the wisdom up there. You need to be able to feel the wisdom as well, not just have it sort of analytical and in the mind, but actually feel it. Feel the purpose, feel the meaning behind it, and really connect deeper to it. And again, that's where the symbols and the mantras really help with that. If you just sit and meditate and just repeat the mantras in meditation, Choku-rei, Seiki, Honshaze Shonen, Daikomyo, just repeat them over and over again, or just one of them, and just getting the feeling of what you get from them. That again helps to find that focus in that energy of what that symbol is, what the symbol means, what it means to you. Because Reiki is about you. It's about you practicing in your own way, your own unique way, and harnessing that. And many new clients that work with me, especially one-to-one in person, they always say, like, I've had Reiki before, I couldn't really get settled, there was too much going on, it was very mechanical, and I didn't really get into much of a flow, and I just couldn't relax. And I said, well, a lot of practitioners are very, very different. I keep mine as basic and as simple as possible, and just place my hands on the body and work down the body. A lot of people use feathers and use smoke and use sage and put crystals on people and do a lot of this other stuff as well, which is fine. If that's your way of practicing. It's not my way of practicing, it's your way of practicing. And that again is the key to being a Reiki master teacher, is having your way. Finding your way, finding what works for you, and harnessing that. And you will find, because I found this as well, from Reiki 1 through to Reiki 3, your practice and your system of how you work will change. It will constantly evolve, and it will unravel. It might start off quite intricate and complicated, and then you realize, well, actually I don't need to do any of that. It can be this simple, and then you'll unravel it a bit further, and then you realize that actually I don't need to do any of that, because I am already Reiki, and the person that I'm treating is already Reiki. So we just get into this nice biostasis place, with each other. And for me, the simplicity is key. And every client that I've had that has issues with relaxing, or just shutting down, or just quieting the mind, every client that I've had, I think every client that I've had have all managed to relax, to just tune out, and relax. And that is ultimately the key. That is what you're looking for. You're looking for that relaxed state, because that relaxed state at the end of the day is where the real healing takes place, because you relax your nervous system, you go into parasympathetic nervous system, you go into rest and digest. Once you get out into that state, you're letting go of stress, you're letting go of all of those emotions, so real healing can take place in the mind, in the body. And so Reiki 3 is really about deepening. It's a deeper place, and for me as well, really simplifying the Reiki down to its truest essence, which is just you, your great bright light, your presence, your self-awareness. And that is that is where all the wonderful things take place, just in that place of absolute stillness. So if you're recently attuned to Reiki Master 3, Reiki Teacher, if you're feeling a little bit lost, I hope this video helps you. Do like the video, do subscribe to the channel if you found this video informative, and I'll see you in the next video. But until then, do take care. You can check out my socials below as well in the descriptions box, or you can get booking for some healing with myself via the website. Again, all linked below in the descriptions box. But I will see you in the next video. Much love. Take care. Namaste.